Okay, let's see if I can do this quickly. So make sure your plasma torch control box is on. Make sure the plasma cutter is on. And then we're going to open up Design Edge software. So this is the software that we use to control the plasma cutter, the CNC plasma cutting table. First thing we're going to do is machine and initialize. That's going to auto home the torch. Once we have that, now when we jog on our control box, we can see that our little yellow cursor is moving with it. That way we know where the position of it is. I'm going to recommend that you guys import DXF files. DXF files you can download off the internet. Let's see if we can find one right here. Yep, we can go animals, open. There we are. Once we have a drawing, we have to convert it to a cut path. The cut path is the path that the torch is going to follow to cut your shape out. So there's just regular lines, and then there's cut paths. So in order to get there, we got to go up to Machine, Convert to Cut Path. We're going to either click on the inside or the outside of our part, depending on what you're trying to achieve. If we got something that we want to delete or remove, we can. All you have to do is highlight it and hit the delete key, and it'll delete, okay? Now, it's very important that you click on your cut paths in the order that you want them cut, okay? So if you have a shape, and again, you're going to use these little magnifying glasses up here at the top to zoom in and out. But say you're making a plaque for somebody. I just use my little rectangle tool over here. Then we want to add some text. There's this text logo right here. It's this A. We're going to type in some text. We're going to select a font that works. Now, see how these O's are closed? If you just cut them out, it's just going to be a big circle. Okay, there's not going to be some inner circle. If we did something like this, we can see that the inner part of that O is connected still, and that way it'll stay there. Same thing with this. So this is kind of what we're going for. That way once you cut it out, you can still see it. So once I have it, I'm going to click down right here and move my mouse out. There we go. So if I was going to convert this to a cut path, I don't want it to cut my square out first, because my piece might fall out if it's not supported, and then I won't be able to cut my letters. So when I go Machine, Convert to Cut Path, I'm going to make sure that I do my letters first. And then we're going to cut the shape out. Okay? So I would highlight everything, and I would go Machine, Cut. Now it's important to make sure that your torch is about 1/16 of an inch above your plate when you're cutting. That way it'll preserve the consumables. Okay? Now when we do this, we can go Machine, Cut Preview. Oh, we don't have anything selected. Select it. Machine, we'll do a Cut Preview. That way we can adjust the speed. So we want our speed at about 30 inches a minute, or somewhere in that range. We want our torch to be moving fast to keep down heat, because the heat is going to warp our part. But we also want it to cut through all the way. So if the torch is moving too fast, it's not going to cut through all the way. So it's kind of a balance you have to get between the speed of your cut and how fast you're able to cut to keep heat down. Okay? So if you do get excessive warping, make sure your part is clamped to the cutting table. Make sure your clamps aren't going to actually hit your the big arms on the cutting platform, and that way it'll keep your part on the keep your part from warping up and getting weird. If it does warp up and get weird, put cutting glasses on. Don't look directly into the arc, and adjust your Z-axis on your control box. Okay, so that's how you do it. You get a design, Machine, Convert to Cut Path. Once you have it, select it all, and Machine, Cut. And that's it. You can import letters like I just showed you. If we wanted to, we can highlight it and use these tools up here, these boxes. If you hover over them, it should tell you what it is. Sometimes it won't though. This first one is move, so you can click it, move your part. There's one over here in the left, which is copy. So if you wanted to get crazy. Okay, so if I wanted to say that one and control click to that one, and then up here is combine. So you see that? It kind of took away those lines there and combined those two shapes. There's also cut. So say we had a line, which over here on the left, going through a part for whatever reason, and we wanted to trim some stuff off, we can come up to these scissors and trim off what we don't want, if we wanted to. We could rotate our parts. So you can highlight what you want. We can come up here to rotate, which is kind of like a skew square. We're going to select a pivot point and then select where we want it on what we've selected to move from. We can pivot it. You can do like a double click pivot to where it's like a real tight and it'll rotate right in position. Create circles, arcs. This little tool over here is kind of like a spline tool, so it'll kind of, each point kind of acts off the point before it with arcs. So you can see how that kind of can bend around like that and make some really crazy shapes. Okay. That's about it. Just make sure that you go machine, convert to cut path, convert your cut path, select your cut path, machine, cut. That's it, guys.